Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. And this is your Studs Up show. And tonight we got a very special guest waiting for this show. So, guys, if you're liking, please share, please subscribe. We are the Man United Agenda, and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda and your Studs Up show. With our special guest today, as always, we are joined by Big Phil. Hi, Big Phil. How are you doing?
I'm
Mr.
pretty good,
B,
man. Pretty good.
Mr. B, welcome back. And Ashley, a familiar face here and there and everywhere. Welcome back. And our special guest tonight, welcome back. It's been a very long time. It's Jay. And Jay is from Stretford Paddock. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on again, man. It's good to be back. It's good to see you guys again as well. It's been a long time, like you said. It's been too long, man.
Thank you so much for coming on. And
Welcome.
Normally, it's like a Studs Up show. We normally have surprises and everything. But tonight, Big Phil, it's almost like it's me and you against the ball-head people tonight.
Wow.
Phil hasn't got hair.
Phil must have hair.
Phil ain't got no hair.
Oh, no. Come on. Oh,
Hey,
Phil, you let me down.
You've messed up there, haven't you? Now you've just basically made it you against everyone else.
Oh, that's it. Guys, but welcome. So, hot topic at the moment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference yesterday, talking about Jesse Lingard regarding the future. So, the question is, guys, what future has Jesse Lingard, as all I like to call him, Messi Lingard, has at Manchester United? So, as always, let's start off with Big Phil. What did you make of those comments from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer yesterday regarding Jesse Lingard? Quality player, still young, 28, 29 years old, about to come to his peak. He's all coming to his peak. Been at Man United as a youngster, born and bred Mancunian. What do you make of those comments?
Honestly, I think Jesse Lingard's time at Manchester United is up, right? With regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer making those comments, I'm trying to figure out what he's getting at, because let's be real. We're going to play about 3 to 4 competitions, right? But I think we have enough squad depth right now to cover any position that Jesse Lingard wants to play in, right? I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say that Jesse Lingard is part of the plans for now, right? So those last 2 words, for now, right? You know, is he going to be part of Manchester United? Is he going to be part of West Ham United, right? Who knows what United he'll be part of in the future, right? But in my opinion, Jesse Lingard, his time is up. You know, when you have spoiled milk in the fridge, the first thing you do is that you throw it away, right? And right now, Jesse Lingard is spoiled milk. I'm sorry.
Now, going on to us, well, one of the special guests is a neutral in the corner, is Al Fitness, who's a Spurs fan. Al, Jesse Lingard, he's been around for quite a long time now, and he's been a big part of Man United, sort of with the Marcus Rashford of the world, the Mason Greenwood, born bred. Him and Pogba seem to get a good sort of relationship going on at the moment at Man United. And bringing in Jadon Sancho at the club at the moment, do you think this could be the make or break season? Do you think he has got a future at Man United?
Well, as a neutral, Jesse Lingard is a quality player, and I think he's as good as any of them guys. Sancho's still yet to prove it in the Premier League. Let's have it right. We can hype him up as much as we want because he's done it in the Bundesliga, but he hasn't done it in the league, not for 1 minute has he played in the Premier League yet. So Sancho is unproven, whether you like it or not, because he's got a massive price tag which is going to hang over his head now, and he's come off the back of a Euros that he was the fall guy, unfortunately. For me, Rashford, I think he's a striker, even though he misses a lot of chances. He just looks, the way he moves and stuff, I just feel he's an out-and-out striker. Like, he's quick, he can play on the shoulder, he can run at people when he drops in, but I think Lingard's a better winger than him, and Lingard will be better in the number 10 role than him. And Greenwood is not as proven as Lingard. So I think that what people do a lot of the time, and I'm obviously speaking as a neutral because I don't watch Man United anywhere near as much as you lot, is that they hype onto the next best thing, the new thing, the next thing. Greenwood's the next thing because he's had a season or season and a half that's been good. Lingard is proven. It's only last season and the end of the season before that Lingard weren't smashing it. Like, Lingard is a quality player, and I think if you asked any of them pros there, they all want to play against Lingard. You see what he done for West Ham last season. That's what he is. What he done for West Ham at the end of last season. There's no reason he can't do that at United, where he would want to be playing. And as you say, he's a local boy. I think it would be suicidal to get rid of someone like that.
So now our special guest, Jay. Jay, born Mancunian, raised Mancunian. What's the feeling around the club at the moment at Manchester United with the thought of Jesse Lingard leaving the club?
I mean, I can only speak for myself, really, you know, as a United fan and some of the other United fans I've talked to. And it's weird with Jesse Lingard because this might sound contradictory, right? And I get where I was coming from about Jesse Lingard. You know, he's proven this and he's done well at the top level. Listen, I love Jesse Lingard. He scored twice in a cup final, you know, in the League Cup final, in the FA Cup final in 2016 and 2017. He was a very popular player. We've interviewed him on our channel a few times. He's a dead nice guy. He's an honest lad. He spoke about the problems he'd had. He spoke about his mental health issues, about how his form dipped and the issues around that. But let's not forget, you know, Jesse Lingard went 12 months without a goal, I think, or 1 assist and 1 goal in a 12-month period. He had 2 seasons where his form just deserted him. And he spoke about the reasons behind it, but it did. And it was painful as someone who likes Jesse Lingard to see him struggling so much. There was games where he wasn't at the races at all. You know, he went from someone who was an England regular playing in a World Cup semi-final and being one of the best players or better players for England during that tournament to someone who at times couldn't even make the United bench. And it was like, how has that happened? It was honestly, as someone that likes Jesse Lingard, it wasn't nice to see. And it went on and on and on. And then eventually he went to West Ham on loan. And Jesse, don't forget, Jesse's had a very up and down Manchester United career. He didn't get a chance until he was 23. He went on 4 loan moves before he got his chance. Got injured on his I think it was his full league debut. Came back from that to become a regular, to play well, to score in those cup finals I mentioned, to get into the England team, and then lose his form again. And then for a 27-year-old at the time, to go out on loan, I think he was 27, 28, to go out on loan when you're such a proven player, it's almost unheard of. Yet he did that, and he played as well as I've seen Jesse Lingard play. And the reason it started contradiction is because I've seen Jesse Lingard play like that for West Ham, and I hadn't seen that for at least 2 years at United. I actually moving, and I think a move might be better for him because I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really fancies Jesse Lingard. Now, you know, other people making the point, well, Jesse can play in the 10, he can play on the wing. Not all that is true, he can. But is he the best? Is he going to get in that team? Is he the best person in that team? Is he going to get in that team as a number 10, in Manchester United team as a number 10 over Bruno Fernandes? No, he's not. Is he going to get on the right wing over a £75 million new signing, Jadon Sancho? He isn't. Marcus Rashford is Ollie's boy on that left-hand side. And when he's not, he plays Paul Pogba there because we have Fred and McTominay in the middle. So I think Jesse Lingard's going to struggle for games. He was struggling to get on the bench under Ole, and he's going to struggle for games again. And that's why, even though he has had that fantastic run at West Ham where 9 goals and 4 assists in 15 games was it or something like that, which was ridiculously good. He was one of the most informed players in Europe. I don't know if he comes back to Old Trafford and either rekindles that form or gets the chance to. So I think it might be better for all concerned if he did move on, because I think he'll get a chance if he moves on. I think he'll be a very good player for someone else. And I don't know that United only fancies him. And also, sometimes, even a player like Lingard, they need a move because he wasn't playing like he was at West Ham when he was at Manchester United for at least 2 seasons.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jay. So, Mr. B now, with it, obviously, we've been on the channel, we talk about this quite a lot. So do you actually think, like what Jay's saying, and obviously I think Big Phil mentioned it as well, a loan move probably would suit both parties with Jesse Lingard?
No loan, sell him. We don't need him. We played how we played without him last season. The fact that he didn't want to rest Bruno when Lingard was there, and he feels that the only position he can play is a number 10. What's the point? You know, if somebody offers £25 million for him, take the money and let him go. He served his purpose. He served his time. You know, for him, he had a great spell at West Ham, got him into the England squad. So what's he going to come back to do now? Old Trafford, you know, I understand his family and all of that is in Manchester, but at the same time, footballers move countries, let alone 400 miles down the motorway. So it shouldn't be impossible. So for him, I think him personally, I think he should leave. He should move. But he might be happy if Ollie might have said to him, oh, you know, you're going to be a real bit part player. And he might have said, yes, he's happy to do that, which for me lacks progression. But he might be happy being a sub player at Manchester United.
For me now, it's for Jesse Lingard. I'm an admirer of Jesse Lingard. I think he's a quality player. I always ban Arsenal fans because he only scores against Arsenal away and then moonwalk on their pitch and, you know, the banter side of it. But looking at him as a player, I do like the look of him for West Ham. But like what Jay picked up on, he went, I think, a couple of months without scoring a goal. And I've not seen that form on him. I think, was it under Louis van Gaal? I think that was the last time I saw any form like him. And it was like dipping in and out of form. For me, for all parties, because he will have his England aspiration goals as well to go play in this World Cup. So for me, it's only thing I can see that's positive for him is for us to either cash in on him at West Ham, take about 40 million for him, or do a deal with Declan Rice as well. Yeah, I said 40 million for him. Yes, he just signed a new contract as well, remember. So, yeah, for me, let's sell him, get the 40 million for him, or do a swap deal and then give West Ham about 60 million, and we got our CDM that we expect and we need.
That's a lot of wishing and hoping.
I don't. 40 million's ambitious. I don't think he has got a new contract. I think he's got a year left on his contract. I think. Yeah. I think they signed I think his extension kicked in. I don't think he's got a long-term contract at United. And I think that, you know, listen, I know a lot of players go for a lot of money nowadays. And if you have like one good season, you can go for 30 million. And I think there's a case to be made that Jesse Lingard could take a team like he did with West Ham and get them into Europe, perhaps. So he could be worth a lot of money to them. But I don't think we're going to get 40 million for him. I'll be honest with you. I think that's very ambitious. I think it's going to be closest to 30. And knowing our club and the way we almost let players go a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time for cheap as well. You know, if you look at some of the players we've let go over the years, we don't tend to get a lot of money for a lot of our players. I think of players like Johnny Evans, like Chicharito. These players go and they go for quite a low fee. So I don't know. United don't tend to play hardball when we're selling players. We tend to just get them off the books. And a lot of the reason behind that is because we give out extortionate wages to players. Now, I'm not saying Jesse Lingard doesn't deserve a good wage because he was an England international when he signed his deal and he's been at the club since he was 10. But he's on a big wage. And I think that plays into the part as well of the thinking of the club is like, you know, when we're selling these players, when we're trying to move them on, sometimes we have to take a bit of a hit on the transfer fee because of the wages or whatever. But I don't think you get 40 million for him. I'll be honest with you. I think it's closer to 30. And I think even that might be a push.
Our Fitness, being a Spurs fan on the panel, Jesse Lingard, would you take him at Spurs and could he make a difference at Spurs? What price point as well would you look to pay?
Take him for 40 million, that's sure.
Yeah, Spurs will take
Daniel Levy's not paying 40 million for nobody. We'll give you Eric Dyer and we'll have him. There you go. That's the deal.
Oh no! Eric Diarrhea can stay at Spurs, man.
Yeah, we don't want it either. But no, all jokes aside, I think Jesse Lingard would be excellent for Tottenham. Whether he'd come there now, whether if Tottenham and West Ham were in the race, I think he'd probably go West Ham because he's already been there. He's loved by their fans. The manager obviously trusts him to come into Tottenham, where we've got a new manager. I mean, he would fit perfectly in the team. For me, he would fit perfect. He would go in that. It'd be Son, Kane, and Lingard. For me, he would be ideal, and he can play in the 10 as well because Dele Alli obviously not doing it. yeah, it'd be perfect. But I don't see any rumours that he's coming to Tottenham, and I don't think that Daniel Levy wants to push out his money or Nuno on a guy that has had mental health issues and potentially might crumble or whatever. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think they would spend the money on him. So yeah, I would like him. I'm sure most fans would like him, but yeah, I don't think he's on the radar at all. I think Nuno will be looking at Portugal. I think the players.
So, guys, let's go to some of these comments. And what I'm going to do is we're going to leave the floor open so we can all respond to the comments. So, if we start.
Somebody new, the Blue podcast.
Welcome. I know who he is. Welcome. I know who he is.
I actually think that I get where I was coming from, but I know it probably will happen because of the reasons that you've just said. But I think Lingard to Tottenham would be a good fit, and I think that for me, and I don't mean this is disrespectful for West Ham. For me, Tottenham are closer to what I would consider a top 4 club in general than West Ham, because Tottenham usually are there or thereabouts in the top 4. West Ham hardly ever, and that's no disrespect to them because they're not. How many times have they been in the Champions League compared to Spurs? Spurs have been to a Champions League final, been in the top 4, most seasons, have some world-class players there, whereas West Ham had that one season with Lingard where it looked like they were going to get it and they still didn't get over the line. And this, you mentioned it earlier, Jesse's 28 years old. This could be his last big contract. And if he goes to West Ham, and he might go there because he's enjoyed it, as Al said, he knows the players, the fans love him. But is he going to be playing Champions League football if he signs a 4-year deal at West Ham during them 4 years? I don't think he will be. If he went to Spurs and signed a 4-year deal, there's a good chance he could end up playing Champions League football. And I think that for me would be a better fit. I think a player like Jesse, especially in his last big contracts, should be playing in the Champions League, should be playing at the very top level. And I don't know if he'll have that at West Ham. And that's no disrespect to them. I just think that last season is almost as good as it could get for them. And that, I know like West Ham fans might disagree, but they're not a club or a team historically that does get into the Champions League and challenges for it. And even last season when they had that wonderful purple patch when Jesse arrived, it wasn't quite enough to get them over the line. And, you mentioned there the front three, I know there's a lot, we'll get into Harry Kane later on of whether he's going to stay or not, but Son, Kane and Lingard, that's it's a much stronger, I think, proposition than, say, Antonio, Lingard and Bowen or whoever it is, the other lad, sorry, I forget, at West Ham. So I don't know. I just feel that would make it a lot of sense. I think Jesse Lingard deserves to be playing Champions League football. There's not many English clubs he could go to that can offer that because, let's face facts, Liverpool aren't going to go for him. City aren't going to go for him. And if he leaves United, Chelsea aren't going to go for him probably either as well. So I think Spurs are probably the next one on that list. But whether it happens or not, like you were saying, would Levy pay 30-40 million for him? I don't think he would at all.
And, you just said that, Jay, and some just creeped up in my mind as well. He's used to be on loan at Watford, and it would not surprise me because he'll be getting games week in, week out for Watford. But obviously, he will drop down a level where he knows he ain't going to play Champions League football or even European football put to it. But just to play in the World Cup, could that be a possibility if we're looking at 30 million mark, him going to Watford?
No, Jesse wasn't on loan at Watford. I'll tell you where he's been, Jesse. He's been loaned at Leicester.
Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
Birmingham.
Derby.
Brighton. And, yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah.
He wasn't at Watford. I don't think, no disrespect to clubs like Watford and some of them other clubs you mentioned, I don't think Jesse needs to take a step down. This is a guy who scored 9 goals and got 4 assists in 15 games. A lot of clubs are looking at it and go, wow, yeah, And you look at the way he rejuvenated that West Ham team. He came into that team and he gave everyone a lift. And I was watching them and they were playing some amazing attacking football. And one thing that I noticed with it as well is Jesse almost seems to be the focal point of a lot of that attack. I was seeing like situations where you'd have someone like Bowen or someone getting down the line and they'd almost be waiting for Jesse to make the run onto the edge of the box and feeding him in, where he wasn't getting that sort of, attention almost at Manchester United. So I think if you get Jesse Lingard in your team, he's going to give everyone a little bit of a lift because he has played at the top level. He's played in Champions Leagues. He's played in finals. He's won finals. He's played in World Cups. He's played in a World Cup semi-final. And I think for a certain, club and a certain level, he'd fit right in. And no disrespect to some of the clubs you mentioned. You mentioned Watford and Birmingham and clubs like that. I don't see him going to one of those clubs. And I'd be amazed if he did. And could they afford him? I don't think any of them could.
He could go to Bandar FC as well, though.
Well, obviously, yeah, that goes without saying.
And I think that with what I find with Jesse Lingard, that he's definitely a player's player. So when you see even his debut for West Ham, I think he scored on his debut. He might.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah,
and they're doing dances with him and stuff like that. And he's only been there a week, you know. And you just think to yourself, this guy is infectious. He gets in your changing room, and we know he's a practical joker, and he's just a lovable guy. So any team would want that, and any manager would want that. And I would love him to come to Tottenham, like more than anything. But like we said, I just can't see Levy. I can't see Nuno saying, "Yeah, I'll have Lingard," and then Levy saying, "Yeah, here's 30 million for him." I just cannot see that happening.
Okay, so let's go to some of the comments. Let's read out some of these comments. And guys, everyone who's commenting, thank you for all the comments. Please share, please like, please subscribe. We are on the journey to 300 subscribers at the moment. So please hit that like and subscribe button.
We've got a message here from VV. That's what I call him. Jesse should look abroad, maybe to Spain or Italy. Worked out well for Trippier. Thoughts?
You know, the one thing, and this is where, you know, you'd have to speak to someone who's closer to Jesse. I think I'm right in thinking he's got a young daughter. He started a family not long ago. I don't know if that plays a part in whether he wants to go abroad or not. He seems, you know, like I think I was mentioning at West Ham, he was very happy. He had that sort of dressing room thing where he gets on with everyone. I don't know if he wants to take the plunge and go abroad. I think that if he wants to play Champions League football, he might have to, because of the reasons I mentioned with the Champions League clubs in England. You know, unless Ollie gives him a signal that he's going to give him a chance at United, I don't think he goes to another Champions League club, at least one that's in the Champions League this season in England. So maybe you know, an Atletico Madrid or you know, one of the clubs in France or someone, maybe is it Lille or someone like that? I think he's been linked with in the past. Maybe that could be an option for him. But again, a lot of that depends. You know, does he want to move abroad or is he sort of settled? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say that, you know, I find that English players and Italian players don't tend to move from their country, right? Yeah, we can name maybe Kieran Trippier. You could probably name Jadon Sancho. But you can't find maybe 20 or 30 English players who have decided to go abroad to play football whilst they're in their prime, right? So at the end of the day, I see Jesse Lingard as being comfortable playing in England, you know, building his brand also, and also raising his family in England as well too, right? Whether it'll be at United or West Ham United, that's another question, right? So
would it be a case if I threw it in there and I said, wouldn't it be an idea for Man United, all right, we're saying about the 30 million, is doing a player swap with Borussia Dortmund for Jadon Sancho?
Pardon?
What? We already have Jadon Sancho.
No. What I'm saying is using him at a time. Would it be an idea?
No, John. What are they going to take him for? Why are they going to take him, bruv? They're not idiots. They're not idiots.
He's not bad.
Borussia Dortmund sees a certain age, and they're like, okay, if you're that age, we're going to take you. But Jesse Lingard is 28 years old, and he is probably going to stay in England, right? Borussia Dortmund are looking at youth. They are one of the clubs in Germany that like to develop youth, right? I don't see them taking Jesse Lingard at 28, or 20 or 27 years old, right? So he'll probably go to some other club in Germany, but that won't be Borussia Dortmund. Sorry.
See, Solo, everybody knows it's done. I know that's not what you meant, but you got to think before you talk, man.
No, I was saying, so what I was trying to get at was, could we have used him as a bargain chip to get the price point down? That's what I was saying.
Listen,
happened already.
I love Jesse Lingard, but I think that would have been a terrible bargaining negotiation for United to go to Dortmund and go, listen, you know, you wanted 130 million last season. Well, how's about we give you Jesse Lingard and 50 million or whatever? The way Man United, I don't think that's the way forward.
Surprise you.
It wouldn't surprise me if the club tried it, but I think, as Phil said, you know, you look at Dortmund, they go for the likes of the Sanchos, the Bellinghams, they go for the younger players. I don't see him going for 28-year-old. Dortmund, like, you know, the sort of business model at Dortmund is they get younger players and eventually they sell them on, and that's what keeps them ticking over, and they do it very well. You know, they've had a lot of turnover of a lot of players, and yet they've still sort of, you know, managed to be there or thereabouts a lot of the time. So I don't know. I don't think that are the words. I'll
tell you how the conversation between Borussia Dortmund and Man United would have gone. Man United, hey Dortmund, we would like Jadon Sancho, but we're willing to offer you Jesse Lingard and X amount of money. Borussia Dortmund will be like, oh no, you can leave out Jesse Lingard, but that guy Mason Greenwood, how's he doing? Is he available? Can you give me him and maybe a little 50, 60 million? You know, that guy Mason Greenwood. I don't want to hear about Jesse Lingard. I want Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood, come to Borussia Dortmund with me. Come. That's how the conversation would have gone.
Okay, so brilliant. Can we start hitting some of these comments out? Because I want to move on to the next conversation regarding Harry Kane for a little bit.
We had kind of had them all up on screen. There was a lot of banter between people. We had the acceptable. I've got a question there. I've got one from a Monday that I'm not even going to put up on screen. Feisty boy. This one here. If he stays at Man United, can you predict the number of appearances and starts? I can personally. He'll get no appearances and no starts. He won't get any starts next season, so he may as well go.
I think he'll be very low. I don't think Ole fancies him. I don't. And I know Ole says he's still got a future. Ole said that about Alexis Sanchez when Sanchez was on loan at Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Ole always says it about a player that's on the books at Manchester United. And I know he gets on with Jesse. You know, they got to have a good relationship, but I just don't see Jesse forcing his way into the team. I just don't see that happening. I think it's very, very unlikely. And I think that, you know, if Jesse wants to, you know, spend the next season, like you were saying, I think earlier, Solo, about getting into the World Cup England squad, United's not a good idea for him. I don't think he's going to do that, because I think he'll struggle for games. And we already know that, you know, he's dropped out of the sort of the 23 or 26, of Gareth Southgate's main squad. You know, Gareth Southgate obviously likes Jesse. If you remember, was it against, I might be getting it mixed up, was it against Sweden in the under-21s when Jesse Lingard basically kept Gareth Southgate in a job for the England under-21s when he got him that winning goal? And he's always seems to have that sort of relationship with him, and they've had a good relationship. Took him to the World Cup, played every game in the World Cup almost. And then for the Euros, it looked like he was going to get back in, and then it wasn't quite there. I don't think that staying at United is going to get him into that England squad, unless we had a few injuries. And again, you know, you can't predict that.
Just put it out there. What about Arsenal?
It'd stop him scoring again.
Yeah, right.
Well, I didn't say that about FC. Banter FC, aren't they?
It fit them. It fit them.
You know what?
It fit their mold, the way they play and stuff. I think
it's a shout. Honestly, no, all joking aside, he would fit.
Yeah,
and
he fit the way they play. It fit Saka and him on either side.
Yeah,
it fit nice. Yeah, with Aubameyang in the middle. Yeah, but
you wonder if that, because you know United and Arsenal have done deals in the past.
Yeah.
I know we're laughing, but you know, Sylvester and Robin van Persie and you know Danny Welbeck, it's happened.
Yeah,
so. You know, and it's like he is surplus requirements. It's whether Jesse Lingard wants to go and join a mid-table team. That's the only thing.
Yeah, true, very true.
Okay, so sorry, Amanda, a few more comments, please. But yeah, just look at the ones we're putting out. Sorry.
Yeah, Amonda's actually not here. It's me, but it's all right. I don't mind. That's cool. He'll be back. He'll be back in 3 days. I know you missed him, and I'm sorry, man. It's all right.
Solo, have you been drinking tonight? What is going on with you, man?
I must be drinking. Jesus.
Hey, talking about swap deals with Sancho for Lingard. You're getting everyone's name wrong. What's going on?
I apologize. You know what? Yeah, it's so often because normally it's on Monday that reads the comments out.
It's cool. It's fine. I'm gonna come with a wig on the next show. Don't worry. You think come on Monday. Don't worry, man.
I beg you not to, Mr. B.
No, look, man. We got Silver Fox. You know, we called out the Gooners, and just like that, he's taken the bait. Yeah.
The bait is out. The bait is out.
Yeah. We always have to mention Arsenal because they're banter FC at the moment. They're doing well in the transfer market, buying a couple of players that aren't first team. But big up Arsenal, man. Keep the non-European flag flying.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, we've gone through the messages. I've had them up on screen. Sorry that we drifted off. We were talking and thinking. So let's just bypass the messages and drift on to the next one. Solo.
If you If you are commenting, thank you so much for the comment, guys. But we have so many comments going through at the moment, and we need to go to part 2 of the show. So if you're liking the contents, please like, please share, please subscribe. And apologies for getting the names wrong with Mr. B instead of tonight of the resident that usually read my comments out. So I can only apologize for that. So I am sorry. Okay, so let's go and start talking about Tottenham Hotspurs and Harry Kane. So let's go into Harry Kane a little bit. Euros, I don't think he had the greatest of Euros this time round. But to me, Harry Kane is still a top quality player. Now, Al Fitness, as the guest on, let's go to you first. Harry Kane, I know in the past you have said if you got good money for him, you don't mind him leaving. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I think a lot of there's no Tottenham fans that would say they don't want the best for Harry Kane. Now, Harry Kane's given everything to Tottenham, and I wanted to go and win some trophies. And even if Tottenham started miraculously winning trophies, they're not going to win the amount of trophies he's going to want to win in what's he got left? 3 to 5 years. Yeah, let's be realistic. 3 years probably at his peak. 5, then the last 2 fizzling out a little bit. He's keeps himself in good shape. And I'm sure he's down with all the health stuff and stuff like that. So let's say 5 years he's got left. How many trophies is he going to win at Tottenham in 5 years? Even if we hit a purple patch, what's he going to win? A League Cup, an FA Cup? He's not going to win a Premier League or a Champions League. So I don't know if he would be guaranteed. I mean, I might be on the wrong show to say this now. He's not guaranteed a Premier League at Man United. If he goes there. But if he went to Man United tomorrow for 5 years, he's not guaranteed a Premier League. Let's be honest. Would you all agree with that?
Yeah, listen, we've not won it in 8 years. I think it's fair to say, whilst I think we can challenge, he's not guaranteed one. You're right. It's, I'll hold my hands up as a United fan and say you can't argue with our record over the last 8 years and claim that, if Harry Kane comes to United, if he comes to United, I think he's got a very good chance because he's such a good player. Yeah. But he's not guaranteed it. And I think it'd be deluded to claim that.
Yeah. So that leaves City for a Premier League. I think that leaves City. Well, they're going to win the Premier League in the next 5 years. I think Chelsea probably will, unfortunately, win the Premier League. Liverpool is not an option. Let's have it right. They're not fighting. So just going back to I won't take up too much of your time, but the Euros. The first 3 games in the Euros, he just looked injured. Obviously, I've been to hundreds of Tottenham games. I've seen Harry Kane nearly every match he played in the last 3 or 4 years. And when he's injured, he's that little bit sluggish, and he looks like he's not up to pace with the game. He carries an ankle injury anyway. We know that. Everybody knows that. Both ankles as well. So, yeah, he didn't look up to scratch. I think that the gap. Remember the week gap between the 2 games, so the last group game and then the Germany game. There was a week gap. They've got him sharp in that gap, because after that I thought he looked all right, and I thought that a lot of the stuff where he was dropping in, he was dragging out 2 or 3 players. It was leaving space for Saka on one side, it was leaving space for Luke Shaw on the other side, and Sterling was getting his space from it. And I just think that people will say, oh yeah, he had a terrible Euros. Well, when it mattered, the latter stages, the business end, Harry Kane started scoring goals, and Harry Kane wasn't as amazing as he could have been, but nor was Lewandowski and nor was Mbappe. And you've got to think to yourself, what did Harry Kane's final statistics say? It says that he scored 4 goals, 1 less than the Golden Boot. So, Joe, I don't know what people want from him. I don't know if they want him to perform every single minute of every single game, because this guy doesn't get anywhere near the credit he deserves. And I'll tell you why, because he doesn't look fashionable, because he's not pretty, and he's not got big, strong arms, and he doesn't look the part, and he's not lightning quick. But he's amazing, and he's good in the air, good on both feet. He's so clever. His pass range is as good as, I would say, nearly any midfielder. He can hold up the ball. He's good in the air. I don't know if I already said that. He's just got everything. I don't understand. And like I've said on the shows before, where Amunde said that he rinsed me when he lost his own show 3-1 in favour of Harry Kane being world class. I don't know where he got that one from. And then we was looking at the Euros, where Harry Kane didn't look sharp in the first 2 games. People carry injuries. Then after that, I don't know if you agree, I'll let you have your say now, but I think that after that, the business end, Harry Kane performed for his team. He wasn't outstanding, but he performed for his team.
Okay, so Big Phil, I know you on a Monday got probably the same sort of thing regarding Harry Kane. Do you think if Man United had the opportunity to sign Harry Kane and you guarantee yourself at least 20 plus goals a season, would you go out and would you get Harry Kane at Manchester United?
No. And I'll tell you why, for two reasons, right? Man United did not have a problem scoring goals last season. That's one thing. Two, goals win games, but defenses win titles. And I'd rather invest in a centre back and a defensive midfielder than to spend 100+ mil on Harry Kane, right? And this is no disrespect to Harry Kane. Harry Kane has been one of the best strikers in the EPL for the last 3 to 4 seasons. Like I can see this here, right? Great in the year, as Al said, one of the most ambidextrous players that I've seen in the last 2 to 3 years for a striker as well too, right? But Harry Kane is not needed at Manchester United right now, right? Harry Kane is going to probably give the next team he goes to probably 5 years at most, and then he's going to move, and then what, right? So I would definitely look to invest in a defense and a central defensive midfielder than to go for Harry Kane. Great player, but it's not needed at Manchester United right now.
Mr. B, I love these debates when we do the Harry Kane one, but like what Al said, it's almost like we've had him on the show so many times, and him on Monday go toe-to-toe, and Davis obviously isn't on here to go toe-to-toe with him tonight as well, so we're going to make it a bit more civilized. Harry Kane for instead of Cavani, talk to me.
Absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. I'd rather have Cavani for another year at Man United than have Harry Kane for 3 years at Man United. I just think I'm looking at it as an experience and a learning opportunity for the players coming up and looking up to what I feel a striker should be. I understand that Cavani does drop deep for us. Let's not get it twisted. He does. But I just think he's all round as a model for a player to copy. I would rather they copied Cavani just because of his movement, what he does. I'm not going to say Harry Kane's static because he's not, but I just feel that Cavani offers. I mean, he's proper. That's a world-class bracket. That's what I classify as a tier 1 striker. He's been doing it for years. Understand Harry Kane's been doing it for years, but yeah, I wouldn't take Harry Kane at Old Trafford over Cavani. I wouldn't.
What can Cavani do that Kane can't do?
Cavani is one of the most lethal finishers in world football.
And so is Harry Kane.
Harry Kane is one of the most lethal finishers in the EPL. Cavani has done it in the world.
And for his country as well.
Okay, other than country, where else has Harry Kane performed?
So Harry Kane has played for Tottenham, probably the sixth or fifth best team in the country. Yeah, Cavani's played for some big clubs that are big in their league. Yeah, do we agree with that?
Cavani is Napoli a big club?
Well, Napoli are a big club, and that Italian league is not the hardest league in the world. And when he was there, it wasn't the hardest league at all.
Yeah, but Cavani was scoring goals in the Champions League for Napoli, for PSG, playing out of position.
Yeah,
don't forget that.
Playing for PSG.
Yeah, but PSG is one of the biggest bottlers in Europe. Yeah, he's still scoring goals for PSG. They're one of the biggest bottlers in Europe. And then they got rid of him because the president wanted to pay Neymar. Yeah, so but Cavani is getting of age. Let's be real. Neymar is more marketable than Cavani. We can agree, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's why, and so is Mbappe, right? Mbappe was just winning a World Cup. Neymar and Mbappe versus Cavani, that doesn't take common sense.
Yeah,
Neymar
how many goals did Harry Kane score for PSG?
How many goals did Harry Kane score?
How many goals would he score for PSG? If he went into PSG's team for the next 3 years, he would score 150 goals in the next 3 years. In that league, I probably would score in that league. So I'm sure he would score.
It's true, but I'm talking about
goals a season.
No, but I'm talking about outside of Europe. So outside of your domestic league, Cavani versus Harry Kane, who has been the better striker outside of their domestic league?
Harry Kane got to 20 goals. One second. Harry Kane got to 20 goals, the quickest in the Champions League of any player.
Can I just?
How many times has he done that?
Okay, Jay. I'll come to Jay next. Move to comments. Let's do this.
Wait.
Yeah, let's go to Jay.
I admire this level of sort of stubbornness by my fellow Manchester United fans, but I'm sorry. I think you're crazy if you say that Harry Kane wouldn't get into United's team and wouldn't improve our team. Listen, he just would, man. The guy just scores goals for fun. He gets assists for fun. And I think if you look at our season last season, you say we don't need goals. Our record against the top six was shocking. We had 0-0s against the likes of a 0-0 against Chelsea, a 0-0 against Liverpool, a 1-0 loss to Arsenal, a 1-0 loss, a 0-0 against Arsenal again. We struggled in a lot of those games to get goals, and Harry Kane gets you those goals. And I love Edinson Cavani. I'm wearing a T-shirt with him on. I love the guy, but he's 34. Harry Kane's 27. If we'd have got Harry Kane, we could have another 3 or 4 years out of him. We're not going to get that out of Edinson Cavani. Now, I don't think we're going to get Harry Kane. It's not going to happen. But would I have him? Of course I would. Of course I would. Harry Kane at Manchester United, that's a title challenge immediately. You might not win the title, but you're in the mix. He's going to get you at Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes, with Mason Greenwood, with Jadon Sancho, with Paul Pogba alongside him. He's going to get you 30 goals. He is. And that's massive. And while we all love Edinson Cavani, let's not kid ourselves. Let's not forget, there was a spell where Edinson Cavani missed 10 out of 11 games. He was, and when you get to 34 as well, you don't get fitter. He might pick up a knock or two where he misses a chunk of the season. So, for me, United of old would have got Harry Kane. Like we got Berbatov when he was the best player at Spurs. Like we got Michael Carrick when we wanted him. Like we got Robin Van Persie from Arsenal when we wanted him. There was a time when United would have gone out and gone, Harry Kane's the best player in the league. Let's get him. And we would have got him. But those times are over. And it's sad. But I think I'm just not on the same page as you guys to say that Harry Kane doesn't get into the Manchester United team. Because not only does he get into that Manchester United team, he scores goals for fun. And just on the final point, you're saying Cavani this, Cavani is a great player. The two aren't mutually exclusive. He is a great player. He has been a great player all over over the continent and banged him in for not just for PSG and for Napoli, but also in Uruguay and for the Uruguay national team. But Harry Kane, he's done it in the Premier League. We know what he's going to do in the Premier League. We know what he can do. We know he can do it in the Champions League. I know he didn't play in the semi-final, but he played his part when Spurs have got to the Champions League final. So I would definitely have him if we could get him. I just don't think we can.
Here's my thing. I didn't say that Harry Kane would not get into Manchester. Now, let's be real. Harry Kane can get into any team in the EPL, right? I just said that I would rather invest better in a central defensive midfielder than a Harry Kane right now, right? Harry Kane is going to go for 100+ mil, right? I'd rather spend 100+ mil on a defender, a centre back, and a defensive midfielder than go for Harry Kane. Harry Kane is quality, but he just is not what Man United need right now. That's just my opinion.
I understand that. I thought I might have been getting confused. Like the whole Edinson Cavani's done more, or we're better off of Edinson Cavani. That was something I don't quite get on board with. Yeah, I just think that while I love Edinson Cavani, and I think Mason Greenwood, by the way, in 2 or 3 years' time, is going to be one of the top strikers in the league. I really do. I've been watching him since he was a kid. He is a striker. He's not a right winger. Forget that. He's a striker. He broke records in the youth team. He broke records as a teenager. He scored 16 goals as a teenager in the Premier League, which is more than anyone has ever done for Manchester United. He's broke Wayne Rooney and Marcus Rashford's record. In a few years' time, he's going to be phenomenal. I just think he needs a couple of years, and I think we'll probably get one more year. I know Edinson Cavani, one more year, but then we might need another striker in that gap. And it's a shame because if we had the money and we got Harry Kane, it'd probably be perfect. He comes to United for a few years, but in that time, when he's finished or when he's on his decline, Mason Greenwood steps up, but it ain't going to happen. So I'm with you on the defensive midfielder. Don't get me started on that. But I just think that I'm not going to sit here and go, well, Harry Kane's not all that, and we don't need goals from Harry. Listen, if Harry Kane signed for United tomorrow, I'd be outside Old Trafford partying. I really would. I would. He's that good. You know what I mean? He is.
I think that if you were to ask 20 Premier League managers who they would want as their striker, I think a vast majority of them would say, of the whole world, apart from Messi and Ronaldo, which is obvious, the rest of the world, I think that most of them would choose Harry Kane. In front of Lewandowski, in front of Mbappe, in front of anyone else you can mention, they would choose Harry Kane because he is proven in the Premier League. You're a Premier League team that's trying to go for a title. Why would you? I don't understand. I don't understand why you wouldn't just say, please, just buy him.
You know, the one thing that impressed me last season with Harry Kane was his assists.
Yeah,
I've always had this, and you've watched him a lot more than I have, and I've always had this theory in my head, or this idea that he's greedy and that he just scores and he doesn't bring others in. And I just know I've looked at the stats and from the games I've seen, it's nonsense. I think he had 14 assists or something last season. You don't get 14 assists by being greedy. The guy brings in those around him. He's a selfless player as well as being a goal scorer, which is such a rarity. So I am telling you now, right? The reason I rate Harry Kane, the reason I might sound like I'm a bit of a fanboy is I am dreading City getting him. I am dreading that because if they get him,
it's over.
It's game over. It is. Over. I am dreading that, man, because I'm hearing that they're going for him and Grealish, and if that happens, I'm going to watch the rugby. Seriously, forget it.
I think that that Kane won't flop as well because he's level-headed and he follows his diet and he's an athlete and all that stuff. He's a family man. He's not going to go off the rails. No. He's mentally strong, and he gives you all of that. He was a top assist and top goal scorer last season in the Premier League. I mean, what more do you want him to do? I don't understand. It goes back to the fashionableness. He doesn't look the part. He doesn't speak well. And people don't like that. They want to talk fanboy on Neymar and Mbappe. I would have Kane in my team in front of Mbappe anytime, right now. I'm not saying Mbappe's not going to be great in the future because Mbappe's an amazing player. But Mbappe is not Harry Kane. He's not for me. He doesn't give you what Harry Kane gives you to get in a team. No way.
For me as well, I'd pick Harry Kane any day of the week. Listen, if Man United was there, could afford to buy him, I'd snap their hands off and run and say, yes, let's take him to United, because I just think he's that level difference. He's got that level and the intelligence. And like we said as well, imagine Bruno Fernandes feeding him, Pogba stay at the club. You got Rashford. Man United would challenge. We wouldn't
exactly
be
what you need.
Far away from Man City. We wouldn't be that far away from him. So for me, Harry Kane's a world-class player. I'll tell everyone.
You know what we could do? We could do Solo. We could maybe swap him for Lingard.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like that as well.
Yeah.
I like it. We're Man United, so anything's possible. It takes years to do a transfer. So anything's possible with Man United.
I think Levy might hang up the phone on that one.
Well, he might do as well, yeah. Well, the rumour is obviously Man City offered 2 players plus 100 million. It's a no. So Lingard going there and the other way around, it will never happen in a million years.
I think what the business sense for Tottenham is that he goes to Man City and they give us 2 of their good players. But they've got 2 Premier League squads, ain't they? So if they give us 2 of their backup players that would be fitting our team, I think that with some money, I think that would be the deal for Tottenham. Man United have got no one for us really, so it would be just straight cash, and then Nuno would want the money, obviously. I think, but I see it being City or I don't know if I was him, I'd probably go City or Paris Saint-Germain, but to play with Poch, but he's not going to go Paris Saint-Germain, is he? So probably is City.
He wants to break the Premier League record, doesn't he? He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
He's sending.
And he ain't going Chelsea. Let's have it right. That's bullshit. He would never go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
No way.
What can I ask you a question on that, Ash? Is that because Chelsea wouldn't pay the money, or just because the whole club thing? It's Tottenham will just not sell to Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't think Tottenham would sell Harry Kane to Chelsea. I mean, if you think about it logistically, it fits Harry Kane, don't it? He would still be in London. I know it's South London, but it'd still be in London, and it would fit perfectly for him. We probably wouldn't even have to move house, but it's not happening. It's just not. That's not going to happen. And they've got a good squad. And I mean, yes, they could do with Harry Kane, but if their players start hitting the ground running like Werner and the other one, what's it, the one that scored in the final? What's his name again? Kai
Havertz.
Yeah, them 2. I mean, they're top players as well. So, I mean, Harry Kane would go there, but that means someone else who's a big signing from last season would have to be out because they can't have all them players. So I don't see it. It just doesn't really fit Chelsea, to be honest. I mean, obviously you're getting a team, but it's United or City, isn't it? That's over right.
So we're going to wrap up there.
Yeah, just one thing, a couple of things. Amonde's crying out here because he can't type fast enough. So Amonde, next time you decide to open your mouth and get yourself a bag, make sure it's shorter than a week. Yeah, and then you can have all the banter you want with Ashley here, I
can't change it.
Look, it won't change. I mean, I've got a couple of messages here talking about glazed eyes and glaziers. Well, yeah, that's probably why I'm waiting for them to spend some money so that I can spend some proper money so I can wear. I've got a mask. That's an emotional mask that I'm gonna.
Just quickly, because I see my phone's really small, so I can't really see too well on it. But it said about athlete ? Harry Kane is an athlete, a proper athlete.
He is. Yep, he is.
No one catches Harry Kane really. I mean, he's not quick at all, but he's sharp in his mind. He drops in. He's strong. He knows where to put his body, and he leaves defenders over that like first 5, 8, 10 yards. He leaves defenders, gets out his feet and hits it. He doesn't have to be lightning. Again, all this like Mbappe and Neymar where they're flashing all over the pitch. He has to be effective, and he's effective. Look at his stats. Look at his numbers.
So, guys, can we run through a few comments, guys? I know there's so many comments out there, and we'd love to get through all of them. So let's go through a couple of comments, and then we need to call it a wrap there.
Okay, we've got here from TMJ. We've got Kane literally won the Golden Boot and had the most assists. He's got here, I think he's an anti-Cavani. Cavani can barely dribble, let alone get assists.
Whoa.
Cavani doesn't dribble.
He's anti-Cavani, yeah. It's
no need for that.
Cavani.
Yeah,
no Cavani slander on here, man.
Yeah, come on, go away.
We would rather spend the money on Haaland. This is from a Man United fan here. Box, Kane and Aguero had the best goals to minute ratio in the Premier League history. I don't know if that's a dig at Harry Kane or not. Amonde's here shaking his head just because he can't type fast enough, obviously. We've got another one. Kane had 3 golden boots and World Cup golden boot playing for Spurs and England. TMJ is definitely a Harry Kane fan right here. Whether he is anti-Cavani, I'm not sure. There you go.
He is anti-Cavani.
I think
he is, yeah.
Well, it's true. That's a fact there. Cavani probably wouldn't win the Golden Boot at Spurs. Let's have it right. Not consistently, not 3 times.
We've got a message from Gems. Cavani's old now. He just wants to try and he just wants to win headers. That's fine. We've got another one here. Who would you pick in the Champions League final? Panel, Harry Kane or Cavani?
Cavani. I'm sorry. Edison Cavani.
Well, only one of the. I mean, it's such a moot point, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, who would you pick? Do you know what I mean? Like Bobby Charlton or George Best.
Or George Best, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
let us get to the final and then have that option in it. Let us get to that final.
It's a shame in it because with Kane in the final, he wasn't fit. I mean, Ash, you'll know better than I do, but he didn't look fit for when he played Liverpool.
Final. No, he wasn't fit, and the thing is, he hadn't played for a long time. And
it was a shame.
What people forget is that at the end of the season, he didn't play for the last 9 games, and then the end of the season, and then there was a 3-week gap from the end of the season to when we played Liverpool in that final. That's 12 weeks of not playing a football match, and then you expect them to play at the highest level that there possibly is, and then we go 1-0 down, so we're chasing the game in 2 minutes. It's a hard one, and I think that when Poch picked him, it's a no-brainer. Of course you're going to pick him. He's your talisman. What if you get a penalty and it's the only thing that happens in the game? He's probably going to score it. You have to have him in the team. But yeah, people would. If he wouldn't have picked him, we'd have got dug. If he picked him, the only way Poch could have won that is if we won the game. So of course you're going to pick him. Of course you're going to pick him. Like with you, if Cavani had been out for the last 9 games, and then the Champions League final was 12 weeks after he got injured, you'd pick him, would you? Would you pick him? You'd pick him, would you?
Yeah.
With Harry Kane though, let's be real, Ash. I was an admirer of Son and Lucas Moura that got used to that final. I would have gone with the exact same team that you went with, either Ajax or Dortmund, right? I would have probably bought Harry Kane off of the bench. That's just me, right?
Yeah, but you're looking at isolated games. I'm looking at the whole picture. You're looking at Moura scored a hat-trick in the semi-final, but Moura didn't do anything else that season. So Harry Kane,
but the best ability is availability, right? And Lucas Moura was available, right? That's why I would have started Lucas Moura in
Harry Kane was available.
I would have brought him off the bench.
You can't not play Harry Kane.
Trust me though, I was I wanted you to win that game as much as any Spurs fan, bro.
I
was sat there in my Harry Kane top, cheering you boys on,
Of course.
and I was gutted when the Scousers won that one. Honestly, mate, I was pig sick. Yeah,
used to robbing people.
Horrible feeling. But guys, if you're liking the content, please like, please share, please subscribe. I'm going to go to Jay and put Jay on a solo screen so you can find out where Jay is. So Jay, can you tell the public where you're from and where they can find you? And please remember, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button to Jay's channel as well, guys.
Yeah, over on Stretford Paddock, Manchester United fan channel. Do lots of different content out there every day. Transfer updates, live updates, podcasts, interviews. We've got a couple of good interviews we've had on there recently. We spoke to, I'm trying to think who we've had. We spoke to Paulins the other week. We've had Ravel Morrison on there recently. I spoke to Sir Alex Ferguson myself a few weeks ago. Only a very short interview, but you can check that out. So Stretford Paddock, if you're a United fan, go and have a look there. We're putting up different content. Give us a subscribe. But I posted this video on our community tab as well. So we'll share with you guys. We'll get some of you guys on our channel as well, because I love what you guys are doing. So big up the Man United agenda. It's always good to listen to you guys, even if Solo does have some crazy opinions about swap deals. Like, that deal we've already done. Let's go back and see if they want to swap him for Jesse Lingard.
Send Sancho back, innit? So, yeah, we got that wrong.
Genuinely, right? I've been doing YouTube for 9 years. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in any show I've ever been on.
Wow, you got to get crazy. Welcome to United Agenda. Guys, thank you so much, and we'll be back. Mr. B Scribe, we'll be back on Wednesday transfer show. So keep an eye out for that, guys, and have a lovely evening. Thank you.